Why would the president claim executive privilege unless there was something very, very important that he felt should not be made known to this committee and possibly to the public?
What could be so damning in those documents that they can't be given to us?
For the past year, you've been holding the Attorney General to an impossible standard. This whole idea, everybody, what's he hiding? Well, I don't think he's hiding a damn thing.
Why is it that President Obama is suddenly invoking executive privilege on documents that we were told yesterday they would be glad to give us?
The Attorney General, Eric Holder, voted in contempt. A contempt of Congress resolution passed the committee, the House Oversight Committee, along party lines, 23-17. The big news was that the President, the White House, invoked executive privilege today on these documents from Fast and Furious, the operation, the scandal we've been following for 18 months. Now, it's not unheard of. Presidents have invoked executive privilege many times before. As you look at back to Ronald Reagan, he invoked it 3 times. George H.W. Bush once. President Clinton 14 times. George W. Bush 6 times. This is the first time the president has invoked executive privilege. Let's bring it. We'll start with the executive privilege. Came as a shock to a lot of people on Capitol Hill today.
And it has several immediate effects. The first is, as you mentioned, the grapevine. There's no way that the mainstream media, which have studiously tried to ignore this, can do that anymore. And in fact, as you pointed out, NBC, which has shown exactly 10 seconds of coverage of this on its evening news over the last year and a half, is now going to have to explain the whole thing, since the viewership has no idea what it's about. So number one, it becomes a huge national issue. Secondly, it involves the president. Not that he was involved in the actual communications, but he's the one who has to authorize the claim of executive privilege. Once he does that, clearly he's connected, even though it's not, it wasn't claimed on the grounds of presidential communication, which is the first way to do it. Nobody is saying it was the president who was, it was communications with the president which are now being protected. It's being claimed on a second level of executive deliberation, meaning something happened inside the Justice Department. But the final effect could be one that could hurt Republicans, because as you already heard from the talking points of Democrats in Congress, this will be characterized as another case of overreaching, obstructionism, opposition, blind opposition to the administration, and distraction from real economic legislation or activities. And that's the line that Democrats will take. It could, in fact, hurt the Republicans among some of the electorate.